This month, something new is where we have one of our founders who interviews another. Now, last month, if you were with us, we had the most amazing man, of course, Joe Foster. You've seen him earlier on, the founder of Reebok. Can't get much bigger brand than that. And this evening, we have Eduardo in conversation with Joe Foster, and we've called this Eduardo's Lounge. Hopefully, Eduardo is there. Are you there, Eduardo?
Yes, I'm here.
Eduardo, fantastic to see you, my friend. Loving all your podcasts. Yeah, big round of applause. Eduardo has an amazing podcast series around the world. One of our founders, and I have to say that he's always looking after us here at One Golden Nugget. So, Eduardo, you have, we're slightly later than I thought, but you know what? We've got 15 minutes. I think we've got 15. You've got some things planned. So can I hand you over? Ladies and gentlemen, it's Eduardo X, and of course, with Joe Foster, founder of Reebok.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you, Steve Foster and Maxwell. This was amazing. Again, amazing, I would say. Mr. Joe Foster, the co-founder of Reebok, shares the same name as his grandfather, the founder of G.V. Foster & Sons, and pioneer of spiked running shoes. Joe is also the author of Shoemaker, the untold story of the British family firm that became a global brand, and also founding member of our amazing network, One Golden Nugget. Welcome to Eduardo's Lounge. How was your week, and what are you up to right at the moment?
Well, right at the moment, I'm obviously here talking to you, which is great. The week, fine, apart from I've got a bit of a hip problem. I've been overtraining, and that's a bit sore at the moment. But apart from that, yes, a nice week. Every week is a nice week. And a good day today, yes, we had a podcast with Dubai, and that was a good meeting, really good.
What was the most difficult moment in your career, and how did you handle it? And what did you learn from that experience?
I mean, I enjoyed business, and I enjoyed Reebok. We were in love with Reebok, and certainly that was my life. Now, when you say what was the most difficult time, there were many. We had a lot of difficult times. But when you're together, Jeff and myself, we looked at difficult decisions as where can we get an advantage? You know, we lost our initial name, Mercury, and we had to find another one. And we found a better name. We found Reebok. We had a letter from Adidas after being 4 years in the business. And Adidas thought that our silhouette of two stripes and a T-bar infringed the 3 stripes. We were delighted. All of a sudden, the biggest sports brand in the world had recognized us. Okay, they didn't like what we were doing, but that was brilliant. We had made our mark. So we changed our silhouette. And the thing is that there were so many problems. A distributor, I had a distributor for the UK, so I could look at the rest of the world, and they went out of business, owing a lot of money. And that was a big problem. But we just get the shoes back. Let's sell the shoes a different way. So really, these downsides are problems. And every problem really is a lesson. And not only do you learn from that, you learn how to turn that problem into an advantage. So you have to leap out of it. What was the biggest one? Possibly when we just got to America. I had just got the agreement on the one that was to really make Reebok really big. And my brother, unfortunately, he contracted cancer and he died. So I had lost my partner. There was good for that and there was bad for that. Because we were 50-50, all of a sudden I was 100%. And so my decision then counted. I didn't have to. Jeff was no problem, but we had wives and we had 4 people, always a discussion. Why are you doing this? Why are you going to America? Yeah, these were things that are difficult to sort of work with when you have a family. All of a sudden, that was gone because Jeff had died. The tragedy. I just wish he was here again today. But that tragedy helped in many ways take the company because I made decisions. And fortunately, they worked. But there were risks. There were gambles. The The family didn't like gambling. The family didn't like that risk, but that freed me to do it. And we ended up with Reebok. I just would love him to be here today to see where we ended. We ended as the #1 global brand. But, 31 years from starting to leaving the business, you don't go through 31 years every day being a great day. Lots of days are difficult. Lots of things challenge you. But I think it's how you face that challenge and how you really sort of build from that challenge. It makes you stronger. And I think that all those many challenges, that's what you are. As an entrepreneur, as a person with vision, you have to overcome. And you have to look at them as a lesson. And that for me is really the big thing.
It resonates so much with what you just told me, because my mother passed away when I was quite young, so she never experienced to see like what the career that I did later on in life, right? And she and my grandmother, they always told me this nugget, and my grandmother told me this nugget that when I complained about something that happened in my entrepreneur journey, because she saw when I rose in my career, right? She said that, my son, she said, the negative will always happen. What is important that you leave them aside and start to look at the positive, she said, because the next negative will come round the corner, she said.
Yes, well, you're absolutely right. And I think that's something, it's in your DNA. You have that mentally, that yes, we're bound to get some negatives. But if you're a positive person, if you're an entrepreneur, you know very well you have to overcome it. You have to, and you do, because you don't look at it as something which is defeating you. You just look at it as a challenge. And the more challenges you get, the better you are to face the next challenge. And that's how you grow. And you need, for me, a lot of luck, being there at the right time, seeing those opportunities. Don't let them pass you by. This is where the entrepreneur, the progressive person, the person who is an optimist, can see the bad times. No, we expect those, but we can get through it. And let's learn. Let's grow from it. And yeah, I mean, I just agree with you. It is unfortunate. My father died before we actually became as big as Reebok became. And my brother died before that. And that is a bit of a sadness that I know you carry, and I know I carry, that the people that meant such a lot to you didn't really see the success and where it ended. But again, that is life. That is what happens in life, and it's something we have to overcome and carry on, and just understand that if you did it, you've got an inner strength, and that's really good.
Thank you, sir. It put all together, I would say, for the life that we choose to live. That is what I call ourselves, the passionate ones, actually. Yeah. I don't use the expression entrepreneur anymore. I say like we live our passion to the fullest extent, I would say, with whatever it comes in our way.
I think so, yes. Passion, you have to have the passion, you have to have the vision, and you have to have that determination to keep on going. You just have to do it.
What is the most significant moment you're proud of in your career?
There are a number, but I think the one is to when we got into the American market, when we got our 5 stars from Runner's World, we needed that hook to get into the American market. It's a big market, and you have to get somewhere. Runner's World was the biggest influence in running throughout the all of America. Everybody followed Runner's World. And they were rating shoes. And if you got a 5-star rating, it meant that you were into the market. So when our Aztec in 1979, we got our 5-star rating, that was the big time. That was the hook. That brought us into the market. And it wasn't luck. We worked for that. We worked hard to get that 5-star rating. So that was the big time for us. A bigger time was the aerobics but we wouldn't have been in aerobics had we not started with the running. So running, again, that 5-star in Runners World, that was the big break for us.
And reflecting back on your life, what is the most important learning you would like to share with future entrepreneurs?
Well, I think it's self-belief. I think you've got to believe in yourself, because a lot of people, if you ask for advice, the advice can never tell you what you yourself have in your mind and your dream. You know, the advice may help you to just guide a bit, but believe in yourself. I think the most important thing is to believe that what you're doing is right. And if you can do that, you will succeed.
So I think it's so important what we're doing here, because I remember a lot of time in my career, I felt so alone. You know, I had nobody to talk to. I didn't want to come home to my partner and tell her everything I was experiencing, like we lost our biggest client, all the things that happens to us in the ride that we choose to live our passion, right? So I think it's so important what we're creating with One Golden Nugget to be this place where we can talk and share these experiences, because I truly believe that the walk of the passionate life we embark on will have so many obstacles. And it's so important that we can talk to each other and empower each other, because it means a lot to me. So I really value everybody's time coming here today. Thank you, Mr. Joe Foster. Thank all the founding members, Maxwell, Steve, for putting this together. Thank you so much.
Whenever your heart is broken, don't ever forget you're golden. I will find the light in your soul, I'll be there.
Yes, of course. And now we get to that part of the show where it's our great pleasure at Entrepreneur Capital to introduce Diederik Martens, the founder and CEO of BizBot, a man who says he's 100% digital, a man who breathes technology and aims to make the future of doing business much easier. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Diederik Martens. Diederik.
Yeah, thank you very much. Can you all hear me okay? Yeah, sounds good. Okay, so first of all, Eduardo, you mentioned that this show is for me, but I don't agree. I think that's what the whole thing is about here, is that we all share our stories. So just wanted to highlight that. And I also see that a lot of you guys have focus on why, and the same goes to me. I don't like the classical pitch. I've done many 3-minute pitches on stage where I try to say as much as I can on 3 minutes, and then I'm thrown off stage, and there is 30 pitches like that in a row, and nobody remembers anything. My conclusion is that I should rather just have one slide behind me and sing a song, because then at least somebody will remember me and the logo of my company. So the classical pitch doesn't mean much. I think what means something is the storytelling of why we're doing the things we're doing. So and that's what I'm going to talk to you about today, BizBot. If you want to know more about the business and BizBot, I have, of course, slide deck you can take a look at later. You can even visit our webpage. But I started my first company when I was studying. I had no clue about running a company or anything. I just had an idea. Started out with a couple of slides, ended up with investors, board meetings, hiring people, firing people, reporting them to the police because they stole cash from the company. I had fights with investors, accused of lying, accused of stealing their money. I had the authorities coming to our company to check whether we are following the rules, which we of course didn't, because I had no clue about all the rules. So I pretty much done a lot of the mistakes that you can do, because I started as an entrepreneur, naive but full of engagement, and I wanted to start something. And in the end, we had to close it down. Actually, we closed it down and we bought the remains of the company, started it again, and 8 months later we had to close it down again because it didn't work. So I've been through the whole journey of starting something from scratch to ending it, and after that I came up with an idea about a digital co-founder. Why don't I have a digital co-founder? Why don't I have an operating software, a platform where I log in same way as I log in on Facebook, and everything I need will come to me? Because now, as a business owner, I have to go out and find everything. But as a private person, when I have social media accounts, I get ads, and they are targeted because I have revealed my personality. So if you are single, you will see lots of dating ads. If you have watched James Bond and you post it on Facebook, you will see commercials for the next James Bond movie. So it comes to you, right? But it doesn't as an entrepreneur, and you have to step in all the traps that's there. So that was the idea of the first idea of BizBot, which is not a chatbot, it's a business robot, and it's supposed to be your digital co-founder. And why? Because I find it really hard to set up and run a business, not because of the idea you have itself, but because of paperwork and administration. It just kills your motivation. So I see a lot of friends I've met throughout my life that could have been good entrepreneurs because I see passion in their ideas, but they stop even before they try to set up a company, and that's where they stop. That's enough hassle just to set up the company, not to talk about accounting, reporting, everything that you don't know anything about. So, and I also saw the other side, because most of these entrepreneurs need some starting cash, some starting capital, and there are lots of people who want to invest. And if you look at the increase of crowdfunding, you see that now everyone can be an investor. 10, 15 years ago, maybe 20, an investor. If I asked, who do you see in front of you when I see investor, they will all say a man over 60 in a pinstriped suit. But now that's not true anymore. Anyone can invest, because you can invest micro transactions, small amounts. So at the same time, if you want to make it easier to be an entrepreneur and set up and run a company, you need also access to capital. So that's why we started BizBot, to make it easier to set up and run a company, and also to invest in those companies. What we then realized is that if you want to succeed with that, you need to find a platform where you connect all the stakeholders. So not shareholders, but stakeholders. So the platform of BizBot aims to have a login for your board, for your shareholders, for the employees, everyone, and it should always be for free. The personal login should be for free, and then the companies can connect and buy the apps and services which are best for them in their local jurisdiction, because there are a lot of different laws and regulations. That's why we are setting up the platform, so we can make local apps. And those apps should not just be there, but we should know when you need it. So, for example, if you have a board of one person, then you're probably a small company. But if we see 4 board members, maybe you need insurance for your board, which I never heard about when I had my first company, but now I know. So this is the main idea of BizBot as a platform, to make it easier to set up and run a company, and also to invest in those companies. So I think that that was the why from my side. Of course, I also I think that my motivation are coming from being an entrepreneur myself, seeing how hard it is, and failed, ended up on something called Fuck Up Nights. If you heard about that, it's a global movement. It started in Mexico, I think. So I had a speech. It's online. I tell the whole story about what happened, and many people told me that why do you want to start all over again? And I said, I mean, now I know, so now I kind of have to do it. Now I know how I can help. So if anyone has any questions, I would be more than happy to answer, to to get a more two-way communication, so it's not just me talking.
Well, thank you very much, Diederik. Well, I'm sure we can get some of those questions in. Eduardo, have you an order of people that you can see there, or would you like me just to?
No, I see
up?
everybody. I think this is great. We should just continue, right? I have actually prepared like 2 questions for you, because we know each other and we share a similar story. My first question is about entrepreneurship and humanity, I would say. This is my experience, was that when I did a burnout, I felt so ashamed, that I have failed everybody, because everybody believed in me. I was in the newspaper. The week before, I was eating crabfish at the biggest like family in Sweden, that own the whole country almost. And after 2 weeks, I was sleeping in my father's sofa for 2 years, No, for 1 year almost, sorry. So when I come out of that, I felt so much shame, and I didn't talk to anybody for like 2-3 years, and everybody was like calling my father. And then when I came back again, I snapped out of that shame. Everybody was like, I went to everybody. I said, I'm so sorry I failed you. I'm so sorry. And they're like, what are you talking about? We have been worried for you, Nobody judged me. I was the judge. And that is what I learned. Shame is the enemy. It's in our head. It's nowhere else. How did you feel after your first, you could say, I don't call it failure anymore. I call it experience, because that's what it is. How did you feel?
It's learning by doing.
How did you feel, and how did you overcome that feeling? If you had it, maybe you didn't. I don't know.
No, I got that question before. I had one speech at something called Fuck Up Nights, but before that, I had another one called Valley of Death. That's before you make money, but the follow-up was not when we started to make money. The follow-up was Fuck Up Nights, so it went even further down. But I remember when I went to the courthouse to file for bankruptcy for my first startup. For me, it was like a relief. It's like when you are in a relationship and you thought about leaving your girlfriend or boyfriend for a long time, and you finally do it. So I felt good, but that's when I did it. That's when everyone started to ask me, "How are you doing? How are you feeling?" And I said, "Now I'm fine. You should have asked me a couple of months ago when I was struggling and fighting with the company." But I decided. I have not. I've seen friends who are stressing a lot, thinking about things that they shouldn't do. So I think I'm not sure when, but I decided very early to take control over the problems and not let the problems take control over me, because I saw the tendency. I remember people ask me, "Oh, it must be so great to be working on your own, like be a CEO, because you can do whatever you want." And I said, no. Now I've entered the world where the company owns me and I have to follow up. But I changed that. I didn't want that to happen. So I spend a lot of thoughts about not giving a shit when it's needed. And then I will just put everything on hold and go for a weekend and come back on Monday. And it works. So I don't want to hit the wall, and I'm thinking about it. I've seen it, and I think that a lot of people are letting the problems control you and not the other way around.
Thank you so much for that answer. I had with Navida, she invited me to talk, and I say to people, you don't burn out on how much you work. You burn out about the thing you work with. Like if you go to work every day and you want to suicide, probably you will burn out, right? Picasso didn't burn out of painting paintings every day. So what burns you out, okay, I would say sleep is very important. Don't mess with your sleep, okay? Even if you do positive things, you can crash. But besides that, I would say when you love what you do and what you just said, sometimes when you have too many problems, and I heard it from one of the biggest entrepreneurs I ever met, he said, Eduardo, this is a secret. He says, just walk away, he said. And I say, how does that work? He said, yeah, because then everybody takes responsibility. Just walk away, he said. And I'm also trying to do that now, actually.
Whenever your heart is broken, don't ever forget you're golden. I will find the light in your soul, I'll be there. Never leaving you in the darkness, even when you're out of focus. I will be the light in your life, you'll see it clear. I'll be your inspiration.
Yeah, and it's coming to life. It's gonna be an amazing event. I'm so happy to so many of my friends. Jordan Mendoza in the house. How you doing, my friend? I see you in the chat. So we have some amazing people. Joe Foster, founder of Reebok. Enrique Acosta Gonzalez, amazing leadership guru on LinkedIn. So many people are going to tune in and share their knowledge with people, and we're inviting the local community. I haven't been engaged so much in the past here because I have children. So for me, online is the way to go. So that is the reason that I'm involved more internationally than locally. But we hope some of the local kind of environments could participate in this event. It's going to be amazing. I hope to do more events here locally here in Oslo because my children are bigger now, so I can be more part of the community, I hope. Anyways, please register. I know there's a lot of people coming that haven't registered, so please do it. It's easy for our logistics. So we say it's a secret location for now because we need to decide where to be. We have some really good offers, but we want to see like how many people will attend first so we can pick the right location. Location says a lot of them. The only thing we have decided on is that the after party or the mingle is going to be at the Horgans with our friend Thomas Wold. We had an amazing event last time there. Same concept will be there. Speak, but this time we're going to have food, dinner, everything, the whole show actually. So everybody tune in and register for the event. Go to entrepreneurcapital.com, follow the link, or you can just go to Entrepreneur Capital on LinkedIn actually and register directly because there is where the event registration form is right now, So I'm looking so forward to this event. This amazing man is coming to Oslo, Mr. Joe Foster. I'm going to show you the books. I have so many books here with Joe Foster. All of them are actually signed. I bought them to my friends. So each book has like a signature inside, signed by Mr. Joe Foster. Oh, this one is actually for Ingvild Gosland. It says, me and Ingvild Gosland, we did some really amazing events like Girl Geek dinners at Euronext, VPS. We also did the event actually in Fremtin when I was there. So yeah, I have these amazing books from this amazing man. And I had the pleasure to talk with this man. I'm actually advising him when it's come to digital. Mr. Joe Foster, founder of Reebok. Buy the book. It's an amazing book. Yeah, he's coming here to Oslo. So we're going to do some amazing stuff. There's more events happening. I can't talk about it right now, but we're going to do some more stuff because he's here from Monday to Wednesday. Wednesday is only dedicated for AngelBay. Monday, Tuesday is more like things we want to do locally here with other kind of networks. So that will be like more like invited only, maybe something like that. We haven't decided yet, but yeah, we're going to take some decisions soon about those events. But what I can tell you is an amazing event we're planning at Tuk Tuset with Freddie Amigo, the opera sensation from Sweden, is going to sing. Yeah, he's also coming here to visit us. So that is it. That is what we do. Entrepreneur Capital, Founders King, the Founders University is all connected. It's actually one ambition that we have. We want to create more innovation to survive the valley of death, like what Didrik was describing, right? So the concept behind Entrepreneur Capital is that between
where is the camera there? Between seed financement and VC, there's this big gap. There's a lot of good projects dying. I've seen so many. So what we want to do, my friends, is that Entrepreneur Capital wants to create an island in the middle, you could say, that we have one leg to the VC, one leg to active angels with money, not only like talking, but actually investing. So we want to be there in the middle, like an island, you know, that we can close the gap much faster for the investment. And we're going to invest in 3 companies that we actually committed to. So tune in to the event 15th of June, because we're going to do it live. We're going to invest live, actually. So we will have checks between 50,000 NOK to 500,000 NOK, actually. Yes. So hope to see you all there, and thank you so much, everybody. This wouldn't have been possible without all of you. Like I always say, there is no I in we. It's not the Eduardo X show. It's actually the we show. I can't do anything without my friends. So thank you so much. I love you all. See you at the event. Bye.